Hello, welcome to Paleo Greenbird. I'm Greenbird, and today I'm going to be banging on a piece of Novaculite. I'm going to try and do a little bit less talking and just more napping to see if we can speed this up a little bit, maybe get a finished point in one video instead of dragging it out. I have a number of videos out there where I'm kind of explaining what I'm doing, so check them out if you're watching this one before you've watched the rest. But until then, I'm going to start smacking some rock. So I'm going to start by cleaning off the edges, just getting off everything that doesn't need to be on there. I'm working with Novaculite, which tends to be a little bit hingy, so you kind of have to be careful of that, be cognizant of it. I got a nice thick spot right here, opposed to this end here, so I'm going to just do what I would normally do and drive off some flakes in this direction until I can lower. See, this side's higher. I said I wasn't going to talk, but I guess I can't help it. This side is higher, this side slopes down this way. So I can't really take anything off where the cortex is, which is what I want to get to. So what I'm going to have to do is take some flakes off this side so I can angle it so that this becomes a platform. And if that makes any sense. But I'll show you. So I'm going to grind it a little bit. If I can find my grinding stone. As usual, I'm unprepared. Where's my grinding stone? Alright guys, well I'll be right back after I get my grinding stone. Alright, so I'm back. I didn't find my grinding stone, but luckily I have a ton of sandstone kicking around, so I just grabbed another piece. It'll show up. I probably stuck it somewhere safe. That's what happens when you stick things somewhere safe. So, I'm going to trim this side here. I might speed some of this up, since I'm not going to be talking as much. But if I say anything that's of any value, that I think you might find interesting, I'll slow it back down. So I'm not trying to, you can see it sort of dips in a little bit, just very little, hard to even notice. I guess it doesn't even really dip. Basically what it is this end flares up, kind of dovetails, or ducktails I guess would be a better term. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that ridge off, just so that it kind of evens it out, so that I can do anything I possibly can to get a platform over here. With hinges, but anyway, I didn't mean to, but I created myself a nice platform right here. I was going to try and lower this edge to go this way, but I think I'm going to blast a flake straight across using that platform right there. I guess I just can't really help myself when it comes to talking. I'm going to try and move with a little bit more of an urgent pace today. Not too much though. I don't want to screw things up. Support this on my leg. Fingers are under here. Just enough to give it some love, but not enough to stop the flake from traveling. There we go. Took off a nice piece of that cortex, which is exactly what I wanted to do. And I got another platform right here. Left myself with another platform. Drawing down that edge. It's really, really junky and chattery. It's probably going to break off. I don't even know if that's worth taking. I probably won't. You can see there's little dips in here and over here, and it's just going to terminate right away. So I'm not going to succumb to the temptation of taking that. But maybe I'll try and do the same thing over on this side. Maybe I'll try and make myself one of those little corner platforms. Just trying to make sure the big chunks get in the bucket there. I'm going to hit it really high. See if I can get a really long flake. I don't know, I probably should use a hammerstone for this, but I'm going to try it anyway. Probably never undercut that hinge. I'm using a 1-inch bopper. I'm not going to undercut about that. Get rid of all that junk that doesn't want to be there. Let's try, because I know I want to take this cortex off, but because I have so much junk over here, I think I'm going to take this platform, or what will be a platform once I fix it, and try and drive off a flake that will clean up all these little hingy areas. Let's see if that works. I'm kind of excited. I'm going to a fair up north Maine. I'll have a table, be able to sell some points. Never going to get rich off Flint Knapping, but it's just really cool just to meet people and get rid of your stuff. Okay, keep going. I think instead of using my thumb on this one, I'm going to go back to the traditional method of holding it. Hit it a little bit harder that way. Okay, got a nice feathered flake. Didn't really get rid of that junk, but it did give us a nice flake. Let's try the other side. I really love Novaculite. It's really hingy and can be a problematic stone compared to some of the tougher flints. It's kind of like a cross between a flint and obsidian. You get the worst of both. I think I'm going to go back to guiding with my thumb on this. That's not good enough. If you ever second guess your platform, don't take the shot. Listen to yourself. Because you're probably right. Take the time to fix your platform, make it the way it's supposed to be. Like I've said a million times, I'm not the best flint napper that you will find on YouTube, but I love it. It's so much fun. And sometimes hearing from somebody who's not a master gives you a little bit more insight. Because I don't take anything for granted. Oh, look at what I just did. Huh. So instead of taking that platform right there like I was going to, I think first I'm going to take a platform that... Yep. Do that. So this platform just presented itself, and that has a good likelihood of shooting off a lot of that cortex. It doesn't necessarily follow that ridge right there. I prefer that it would. Maybe I should fix that. I might just try and take it anyway, because the flakes do usually flare out. I don't know, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm not going to overthink and talk a lot in this video. I'm just going to smack some rock and have some fun. Oh, terrible. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, took off some of that cortex. Now let's go back to the original platform we were going to take. Maybe we'll skin this thing down in a zigzag fashion. We'll see. Ooh, nice microblade. Yeah, not bad. I'll take another one in the same direction. Yep, nice flake there. Razor sharp. Of course, I don't have my glove on, as usual. Let's see here. I saw a ridge right here, so I'm going to try and take it, clean off all that junk. myself death gripping. Relax, breathe. Just support it. Let it do its thing. There we go. Nice flake. Pretty deep, a little bit more aggressive than maybe I needed to, but look at, took out all that crap. That's what I wanted to get rid of. The rest of this I can fix. Right. Let's try and take that area that was junky before that I said too many bumps wouldn't come off. I'm going to try and undercut it with an aggressive strike. Check, make sure I'm not bleeding every once in a while. There's a better platform than that, though. It's really cool. I was watching one of Will Lord's videos, and he referred to, I don't know if it's his term or if it's a term out there that I'm not aware of, but he referred to a platform as a launch pad. I thought that was really cool because it really, that's kind of what it is. There we go. Hit it aggressively. Glad I did. It didn't stall out on any of those spots where I thought it might stall. Kind of, it did terminate. Well, no, it didn't. It feathered right out. It's just this part right here is so much higher that it just wasn't going to cut all the way through. But it didn't step or anything. It feathered. Really cool. I don't know why I get so excited about stuff like that, but I do. Steps. Oh, just God. Alright, let's try and zigzag this a little bit. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to take one more long-running flake. I shouldn't say one more, because I might take more. You never know. Whatever makes sense, right? Junk. Grinding aggressively. Kind of a small platform, so I don't know if we'll shoot all the way across, but let's find out. Still with my 1-inch billet. Yeah, oh, look at that. Couldn't ask for much better than that. All the way across. Look at that. Boom. All the way across. There goes all that cortex. Across all that junk, undercut everything. And this is a razor sharp. It's not a microblade, but it's a tool of some sort, that's for sure. So we're starting to get the cortex off. Let's grind. Think about this. And in doing so, found my next platform right here. Seems to always happen. Next flake. Didn't really leave myself with another one, but that's alright. Did get a bit of a hinge right there, but again. Okay, so I think this angle is just barely giving me some concavity. Okay, concavity goes under, convexity goes over. So I think I have enough concavity right here to take this. It's probably going to leave me some cortex over here. It's not going to completely clean up the side of the rock, but it's going to get us in a direction that we want to go anyway. I mean, we have to get it all off, so. Bring off all the sharp edges so I don't use up all my band-aids. If you haven't seen a couple videos back, make sure your band-aids are band-aids. Sometimes you have to hit the same side twice. It's not a big deal. Or 3 times. I mean, it affects your platforms, but it's not a big deal. You want to do what the stone wants to do. Don't fight the stone. If you can't clearly control the stone, don't fight it. Starting to round out a little bit, but that's alright. I'm not worried about that. Okay, and let's see if there's an opportunity here. Because there's this edge is a little bit straighter, this edge is a little bit more coming out. And I just figured I'd work the edge that I don't care if I'm going to lose the material because it has to come off anyway. I don't know if that's great advice or not, but that's just what I'm doing. There we go. There's a platform there. And that's the one we're going to take. There's going to be platforms over in this direction too that we can take to thin out. I'm just going to take this one first. Remember, it's always best to thin the ends before you thin the middle, obviously. Size dictates that, otherwise you get thermal shock. Thermal shock, you get end shock. Alright, that's good. Great. Thermal shock brings me back to my glass blowing days. But it has a lot in common. You have to make sure you gave it some love. Let's take care of this right here. So I'm going to take this flat edge right here, sort of goes at that angle, and try and use that to undercut some of this thicker material on this side. Wasn't the best grinding job. I should probably. This sandstone doesn't seem to work as good as my other one. I don't know why. Let's switch it over, use the other side. There we go. That's exactly what I want. Well, not exactly, but that's what I wanted to do. I should stop using phrases like that. So I'm just trying to make sure that my tip doesn't get too out of shape, so I don't get shock from it. Nap off the hand a little bit here. I'll cut myself. This is usually what I do. Right there. funny with Novaculite too. When I'm grinding, I can almost smell smoke. I think this is a good stone to use for flint and steel. In fact, I have seen on many occasions sparks coming off of this. Not today, but... Alright, so not the perfect platform. It's kind of a continuous platform, but I'm going to take it anyway. Try and get that turtle-y cortex off. There we go, not bad. Oh, even better. Looking at my point, kind of goes that way, so I want to take off that thick spot where it starts to curve. Because it's not really curving, it's an optical illusion, it's just thicker on one side. And since it's in the tip area, I'm going to take it off so I don't give myself end shock later. Oh, that was great. That's exactly what I needed. And I should probably take something from the other side too. Oh, but that's so tempting, that platform right there. But I have to resist. Need to fix my billet here. Okay. That thinned out nicely. But now my thick edge is starting to kind of come this way, so I need to address that before I move on. Otherwise I'm in all kinds of trouble. Kind of a chattery platform, so hope for the best. And because my tip is so much thinner than the rest, I really need to make sure I'm in contact with the tip and I'm supporting it. Tip of my bopper is starting to come off. I'll have to re-glue that later. Yeah, it's starting to come off pretty good. It's been coming off for a little while. That's okay, maybe I'll just have to switch to a hammerstone. We'll see what growing patterns. And there's my platform that I just made. Remember, whenever you want a platform on one side, just flip it over and hit it on the other. That's how you create those platforms. At least that's how I do it. I'm self-taught, so I've never really had anybody teach me stuff other than what I've seen online and on Facebook pages and things like that. There we go. That's always a great sound when you hear that ring, that clink. I'm just riding a continuous platform right now. That's what I'm doing. Alright. Tip is thin. Starting to get thick towards the edge, so I'm going to start working on some of this lower edge. Even though I'd like to get this thick spot here, I'm going to have to just be patient and come back to it. Might be able to get one flake off first. Since I have more mass on that edge than I need anyway, I'll trim it, and in the process of trimming it, the Flint Knapping gods give me a platform. And I'm gonna have to switch boppers because look, this is like completely off. It's moving every time I hit it, which eventually is going to give me a problem. So I'm either going to have to finish this video another time or switch to, I wonder if I can use my antler. It's so different. It's really cool, but it's so different. Back to the bopper for now, but it did give me some really cool flakes. Great thing about using antler too is, I think anyway, it doesn't require as much grinding. I really like copper, but I'd like to use more antler. I just don't have the right antler, so if anybody out there has antler they're just dying to give away, email me. I'm sure you're not dying to give it away. I'm not dying to pay for it. Alright, so I've got a platform on this side and on this side, both taking out mass that I want to take out, so hooray. Nope. Producing really nice microblades. Oop, that was a terrible strike. Let's grind that off again, start over. There we go, much better. This is coming along nicely. So, down to that thick end. Start taking off some of that. Nice. So, starting to buy face. There's some thick areas in the middle, but that's okay. I'd rather keep them there. For now, anyway. This is some really nice stone. I'm just getting more used to using it because Novaculite is very hingy. You're probably sick of me saying that, but it's true. Support, support, support. You'll find one side of supporting it is usually easier than the other side. For now. I don't know if this is going to be a spear point or a knife. We'll just have to wait and see. Yeah. This microblade, or that's not really a microblade, but it's a tool of some sort. Did leave myself a little bit of a hinge, but it's not really a bad hinge. It still has some feathering to it. My only concern is that now I create a kind of a thin spot. So I think I'm going to backtrack a little bit upward instead of keeping going down. Just to take one little flake to try and even things out. Yeah, there we go. And I followed that hinge, but that's alright. I'll get it from the other side later. Yep, there we go. I'm thinking this is going to want to be a knife. I'm going to leave that settle for now. So I'm going to lower this edge. This edge here, because I want to take off the top. So if I want to take off the top, it means I have to flake off the top. Right now my platforms are going to take flakes off the bottom, so I need to bring the platform from low to high so that when I flip it over, it's low. There are my smiles. Sorry to bore you with the obvious, but that's just the way it is. Ooh, got a nasty hinge there. I'm rushing a little bit. This bopper head keeps turning on me. I might have to switch to my solid copper bopper, but I'm just not as good at using that one. So I need to clean this edge up because that hinge is, I'm never going to get around that. So there's a platform right here that might allow me to take off a portion of that hinge, which is fine because maybe I can get a platform below it that'll let me get rid of the rest. And I probably wouldn't do it at this point, but I'm going to do it anyway just because that bopper's falling apart. I'll switch down to my 3/4 inch. Just hope that it steps up to the plate. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Nice. Got rid of most of that hinge. That was great. Left me with 2 platforms. One here to continue thinning, one here to continue shaping. I think right now I'm more concerned about thinning. Supporting the tip. We've gone to a lot of work. We don't want to lose it now. My fingers under here. Probably going to get sliced, but whatever. Ooh. Sounded too light. Oh, I got a hinge. Another hinge. This bopper's too light. But I have to work with what we have. I'm sure the old boys had the same problem. I'm sure they didn't have a selection of absolute perfect antler for every job. So I'm sure they're up there laughing at me right now when that's what you get for using copper. Nope. Yeah, there we go. Take that. I'm going to take that platform up here. It's nagging me. Ooh, that was a beautiful microblade. Alright, so it's coming along nicely, ish. So we're thicker down at the base, so that's what I'm going to start to address. Start with this side because it already has some places that want to be platforms. I'm just going to kind of ride this like a continuous platform. I'm not going to really set every single platform up. Let's see if I pay for that. So I still have a pretty thick edge on this side. I think I'm going to zigzag it at this point. Well, let's see. Always touching this point. Still break it even though you're touching the point, but sure reduces the odds. So I kind of have a thick spot right there, a lot thicker than what I was zigzagging before, and it kind of came to a cone. I could try and fight that a little bit, but I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to come from the other side where it's a little bit thinner and start zigzagging there. Okay, I'll show you. I make it more difficult on myself. I really don't want to break this at this point. See what that's doing? Look at that. It almost looks like an arrowhead right there. But it's just fine. Also, this zigzagging effect kind of helps you when you're trimming off material, when you're just kind of munching it off or crunching it, whatever you want to call it. It helps keep from one side. You don't get that all going in one direction. Kind of helps even it out a little bit. So we're getting to the point where I'm pretty happy with this. We're going to have a nice preform. Certainly is not going to be any shorter of a video than my other ones, so I failed on that, but that's okay. Who cares? I'm having fun. You can stop watching if you want. Find my platforms. This is a really fun part because now you get to find those little teeny platforms that make a huge difference. And because I've been zigzagging, it seems like my platforms that I'm leaving myself are zigzagging also, which makes sense, I guess, no matter how you cut it. It's not always that way. Of support at this point, putting my finger under where the platform is, just to give a little bit of a guidance where to run. You do run the risk of driving that flake straight into your finger. I've done it a million times, but like I said, if you're squeamish of blood, then you probably ought to find something different to do, because no matter how good you are, you will break points and you will get cut. You can count on that. Everybody will say the same thing of that. It's one thing everybody agrees on. Alright, I'm starting to get some chatter here. I'm trying to take off this thick spot right here, but I might need to wait and just pressure flake that off. If you get too fixated on percussion, you'll just end up making this mistake. You'll waste all that precious time you spent bringing that beautiful preform out of the stone. And remember, it doesn't have to be completely flat. You do want a little bit of convexity. You just want it even on both sides. Or as even as you can get it. Alright, so we're almost there. couple strikes away from being done for now. Just want to get myself a platform so I can get rid of that. I still have a pesky low spot right in here. I'm not showing you because I'm trying to make this video quicker. If you don't like that, let me know in the comments. If you prefer that I just make these videos long and show you what I'm doing a little more clearly, let me know. Just nibbling away to try and get to that. Myself a good platform here. I got it. For that last junky area. As good as I wanted to, but it is what it is. I think we're going to call this a preform. I'm going to grind it nice and good so that when I go to finish this off, there are no weak spots. Whether I'm using percussion or pressure, won't matter. Everything will be nice and sturdy. See if any last minute platforms jump out at me. I do right here. Just thinning platforms at this point. We're not finishing this point yet, anyway. Even a caveman needs a lunch break. Maybe it didn't. I'm not bleeding. Ow, damn it, did it again. There you go, Savage Tapioca. There's proof that I do swear. I'm sure the old boys did too. And now, I should probably stop. Okay, so I think we'll stop here. We have our preform done. This will either be a spear point or a knife blade. I haven't decided yet. I'm leaning towards a spear point just because, I don't know, I have enough knife blades. Just needs to be touched up, so I'm hungry. I need a lunch break, and maybe we'll get back to this, but in case we don't, and we have to get back to it another day, this is Paleo Greenbird. I thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, please post them, and share, subscribe, like, and all that other stuff. Thank you so much. Have a great day.